Hello everyone and welcome back to another movie review. It has been a ridiculously long amount of time since I made one, and I know I feel like I say that every time I make a review, but it's because I'm not very consistent at making reviews. Either way, I'm back for this one. I just saw Bad Times at the El Royale, and I'm really interested in talking about it. So I'm going to start off with a summary. So essentially, Bad Times at the El Royale is about a hotel that is on the state line between California and Nevada, which is a really cool concept, but it isn't played up very much. It doesn't really matter. And a bunch of people show up at this hotel. There was a murder 10 years ago, money involved, everyone here for different reasons, and essentially the movie goes through a set of flashbacks, plot twists, character development. It's really fast paced and crazy. Every character has connections to another character in some other way through in this short period of time that the actual story takes place, and you keep getting flashbacks that explain why each character is the way they are, and bits of character development that come back full circle near the in other parts of the movie, and it works really well until, and here I'm going to get all of my negatives out of the way, until you get to the last act where Chris Hemsworth's character finally shows up, and it destroys the pacing, it destroys the tone, it destroys pretty much everything that I personally really enjoyed about the movie. So, going on top of that, I honestly thought that this was going to be one of my favorite movies of the year during the time, or the first two acts. It was fast paced, which I really like. Lots of character development and mystery and plot twists, as I've said, and that really kept me engaged. It kept me focused on what each character was doing at what time, and I really enjoy that figuring it out on the fly kind of momentum. And then in the last act, when Chris Hemsworth finally arrives at the hotel and everyone's doing their own thing, it just stops dead, and everything slows to a crawl, and Chris Hemsworth's character isn't really that important to the story. I feel like there would have been a much more interesting way to keep it focused on the people in the hotel and still come to a similar, or more interesting, in my opinion, ending. So Chris Hemsworth, obviously not a bad actor. He did a fantastic job in his role, but the way his character is written in this movie feels shoehorned into me. He is an outside force. He was not at the hotel to begin with, which I think is my biggest problem with his character, is the fact that bringing in an outside force to this tightly knit, mystery-driven, character-driven area of the El Royale itself, which obviously the namesake of the movie, it feels out of place to me, and I can't say that it destroyed my enjoyment of the movie overall. Gonna get this out of the way right now. I give it 4 stars. I'll repeat that at the end. But I still enjoyed it, but I feel like that was a pretty big negative, and it knocked it down from what could have been 5 stars, honestly, to 4 stars, which is still very good. Aside from that, I liked pretty much everything else about this movie. The movie is actually divided into sort of chapters, each chapter being set talking about one of the tenants of the room, one of their how their backstory applies to their character, and each chapter is titled the name of the room that tenant is renting. You get room 1, room 7, room 4, room 5, and not the characters' names, but that is the room that they're in. And each room you get to know, and you get to realize where everything is in conjunction to each other, and which character is where at what point, and it's a lot of thinking that is kind of done for you because it's a movie, but you get to sort of piece together everything on your own, which I really enjoyed. This movie is great when it comes to camera angles and panning and movements and stuff, and the framing of someone being in the background, or someone being on a mirror, and someone else being like between two bars and faces, and all sorts of great shots like that, and it keeps you engaged, and it's actually just incredibly impressive. Also, the set design and tone in general, with the Vietnam War era setting, and everyone dressed up in their attire, and the cars, and the music that's playing, which music does play a very, very important role in this movie, and I think it's used incredibly well to fuel the mystery, and then also the character development and it is brought full circle near the end. But all in all, I gotta say, I really did enjoy this movie, but it has one major flaw that I feel knocked it down from almost perfect in my eyes. And I encourage people to go see this movie, give their thoughts on how they feel about it, because it's possible that it's just, obviously it's just my opinion on how the final act ended up impacting my thoughts on the overall movie. So I would say go see this. I give it 4 stars, which is a great score. And I will see you guys in hopefully another review very soon. Bye.